There's the notion of a human-created monster. Frankenstein, right, springs to mind. And at an adequate time. I mean, Frankenstein was a fantasy, an unconscious fantasy, a dream in actuality, about the potential dangers of unbridled technological advancement, right? Well, this Frankenstein monsters face us daily. I mean, it's become a constant part of our existence. Why is that? Well, maybe it's something like this, and this is certainly a notion that Jung would agree with. If we don't develop a moral sense as conscious and as elaborated as our technological sense, the fact that we're capable of becoming increasingly powerful will necessarily do us in. Right? The bigger your weapons, the smarter you better be to control them. And so maybe it is something like this. Maybe, and this is a strict Jungian notion, maybe 500 years ago when we started to ratchet up the rate at which we were developing our technological expertise and left our mythological and religious presuppositions and conceptions behind as archaic and perhaps as predicated on superstition, maybe we need to spend as much time updating them and bringing them into the domain of clear consciousness and control as we have spent on developing our technological sense. As we've moved away from a classical, mystical, or mythological worldview, a number of dramatic occurrences have unfolded. We've become much more technologically powerful, right? The application of a strict empirical model designed to abstract out from everyone's experience those things that are material and constant have enabled us to produce technological implements of extreme power, right? Both for good, at least in principle, with regards to medical advances, and also for ill in terms of our ability to control weapons of unbelievable destructive force. So we're more powerful. Are we any smarter or any wiser? Well, I think a casual glance at the history of the 20th century would suggest that perhaps we're not. So you might take, for example, the fact that the 20th century has been unbelievably bloody, right? Literally hundreds of millions of people killed in conflicts of one form or another.
You can use the same technology to create completely different kinds of societies. We saw it in the 20th century that you used exactly the same technology to build communist totalitarian regimes and liberal democracies.
That's right.
It's the same with AI. We have a lot of choices about what to do with it, if, again, provided we remember that for the first time we are dealing with agents and not tools. So it makes it much more complicated. But we do have still, most of the agency is in our hands. The main problem is that now the companies and countries that lead the AI revolution has been locked into an arms race situation. So even if they know that it would be better to slow down, to invest more in safety, to be careful about this or that potential development, they are constantly afraid that if we slow down and they don't slow down, they will take over the world. So the most important thing is that we need to solve our own human problems instead of relying on the AI to do it for us. And the key problem is the problem of trust and cooperation. At the present moment, trust is collapsing all over the world, both between countries and within societies. And the hope that, okay, humans can no longer trust each other, so the international system and the trade system and everything is collapsing, but the AI will save us, will solve. No, it will not. In a world in which humans compete with each other ferociously and cannot trust each other, the AI produced by such a world will be a ferocious, competitive, untrustworthy AI. It's not possible for humans, as they engaged in this ferocious competition, to create benevolent, trustworthy AI. It will just not happen. So if you think about it, it's just a question of priority. We have now this big human trust problem, and we have the issue, how do we develop AI? Too many people think, okay, let's first solve the how do we develop AI problem, and then this will solve the human trust problem. It will not work. we need to get our priorities the other way. First, solve the human trust problem, then together we can create benevolent AI. Of course, this is not what is happening right now in the world.
Today's newspapers, and what do the headlines have in common? One thing: trust. Can we trust the officers? Can we trust the prosecutors? Can we trust Turkey is safe in Minnesota to eat? Can we trust the Democrats and Republicans will work together to make this budget deal? Can we trust Iran means what they say? Can we trust big business? What's trust got to do with it? Everything. Today I want you to think bigger about trust and the impact of trust. Trust is a choice. Every single time you choose it or choose against it, it has benefits or consequences. Imagine what would happen if you could be that person that was trusted by everybody every time. You know, what do we know? Organizations don't get better. Countries don't get better. Individuals get better. But when one person becomes more trustworthy, then a family, a community, a country can get better. So what's trust got to do with it? Everything.
Anytime you deliberately decide not to tell the truth, it's wrong.
Don't I know it? From now on, it's the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.